to be able to just make a choice on your own and just be able to speak for yourself.
This one's wife. Let's bully a charity. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife buggered things up as a failure to register her domain names, and therefore certain wags obtained those domain names quite legitimately, and with American Riviera Orchard.uk set it up so that it redirected to the Trussell Trust, and there was a fundraiser set up for it, which many people have donated to, most likely as a fact that they don't like this one's wife, they find the whole enterprise amusing, they want to do some good, and they've also utilised this as a platform to express their good wishes towards Princess Catherine as she recovers from her cancer diagnosis. All of this, of course, wounds this one's wife, because she is not getting the attention she believes that she should have. She's losing out on a residual benefit. She believes that money ought to be going to her. And even worse, there are good wishes being sent towards the nemesis. This one's wife will undoubtedly be aware of this use of the domain name, and similarly in relation to the Canadian site also, and furthermore the Shopify one that I mentioned a couple of days ago. It shows a schoolgirl error on her part. It also demonstrates the ridicule that she once again receives, that you wouldn't get any other celebrity being treated this way, with the domain names being snapped up, with people thinking, great, let's use that, and then we can create a spoof site, we can direct people to a charity, let's just generally take the mick. None of that will go down well with this one's wife as a consequence of her lacking a sense of humour, and of course it wounds her because it threatens her sense of control. But what it also does is provides us with insight into the nasty nature of her supporters. It is no coincidence that her supporters are individuals from low socioeconomic backgrounds, of low cognitive function, driven by vitriol and a slavish devotion to this one's wife, who of course does nothing to condemn their behaviours, nothing to correct their behaviours, fails repeatedly to speak out against their bullying of people online. Despite the fact, of course, this one's wife talks about how people should be kind and compassionate, that the online space should be made safer, she completely fails to do anything about it when it comes to her own supporters. The reason being, she doesn't actually care, and it is to her advantage to have these vitriolic attack dogs patrolling the internet and lashing out at people. This one's wife claims to be about charity, and you would think that if she sees that a charity is gaining as a consequence of an association with her, it would please her. But it doesn't, because it detracts from her. Because she has no emotional empathy for that charity. She actually regards it as competition and a threat. And in actual fact, rather than criticise those that are now bullying this charity, this one's wife would allow it to continue, because in her world, she would deem that the charity deserves it for the audacity of it being associated with her domain name and benefiting from that domain name by way of donations. Even though the charity didn't set it up, even though the charity has nothing to do with the individual that did set it up, in effect, it is not the fault of the Trussell Trust whatsoever. That doesn't matter in the mind of this one's wife. You are doing something which offends her sense of control, and therefore you deserve to be punished. She doesn't think of it in terms of control. She deems it in terms of the barefaced cheek of it, utilising my goodwill. And of course, because she is such an unpleasant and vitriolic individual herself, that bleeds into the type of people that she attracts. And therefore, it's resulted in the Sugars demonstrating once again their true colours, whereby they exhibit an idiotic and slavish devotion to this one's wife, adopting a particular mantra which just shows how cerebrally challenged these clowns are, and how they fail to see that what they're doing is bullying an entirely innocent charity. On X, where else would it be, somebody called Queens Are Made has posted, when that Trussell charity accepts the funds, and they've already said they will, the charity will be forever tainted with hateful people donating to them to abuse a mixed-race black woman for their white British princess Kate Middleton. They'll be tainting the charity and Kate. And then there is a meme, never forget that. Of course, that makes no sense whatsoever. Isabel Banks then directly messages at Trussell Trust stating, the funds being donated to your organisation are being made by Trick. Note again, poor English of the Sugars. If you do not disassociate yourself from this activity involving using the Duchess of Sussex website address, you will be guilty of being complicit and benefiting from fraudulent activity. Note the threat. The social media account of the Trussell Trust deigns to respond, explaining, Hi Isabella, we are not associated with this website domain. We weren't aware of the website prior to going live and have not had any direct contact with the person who set it up. There you are. There's the explanation, and someone has been kind enough to point this out to the dim-witted Sugars. Not that it would actually do any good, other than enable balanced and sensible individuals viewing this exchange of the actual evidence, which is the Trussell Trust has had nothing to do with the person that set it up. And it demonstrates the vitriolic and nasty nature of the Sugars once again. But it does not end there. Somebody called Jane posts, how low can Kate Middleton, as if it's got anything to do with her, and at Trussell Trust go? To create American Riviera Orchard.uk domain name, the brand name of this one's wife's new project, to create a GoFundMe, disgusting scroungers. Well, you see, Jane, you're a bit stupid. Kate Middleton didn't do it. That the domain name American Riviera Orchard doesn't belong to this one's wife because she failed to register it. Schoolgirl error on her part. The Trussell Trust again explains, Hi Jane, we're not associated with this website domain. We weren't aware of the website prior to it going live and have not had any direct contact with the person who set it up. Jane replies, but you have raised the money. Give it to this one's wife. She's the blueprint. Angela adds, I hope they hand over the money. Why couldn't they have done this in Kate's name and not used it to try to damage this one's wife's new business? Well, you see, they don't understand. It's because this one's wife isn't well liked. Sussex Daily then states, are you accepting the money raised through fraudulent means? The Trussell Trust replies, as the website clearly states, this is a fundraiser in aid of us. It would not meet the Charity Commission's requirements to be categorised as fraudulent. In line with the Commission's guidance, we are unable to reject donations unless they meet specific requirements. So the fact is that the Trussell Trust has already undoubtedly checked with the Charity Commission that it's acceptable to receive these donations and has been told, yes, you can. Another user, whose name has been redacted, points out to the dim-witted Sugar of Sussex Daily, are you too fucking stupid to realise there's nothing fraudulent about it? But sure, show your true colours and attack a food bank. The explanation, of course, about not being associated with it, how somebody called Miss Flag Pin replying, you've known about it since the first $500 you took. Since then you've accepted over $10,000. This little canned reply from an employee working social media is not going to do. Tell your ED and board of directors to address this fraudulent activity before it gets worse. And again, doesn't it just show how stupid they are, that they fail to understand that the Trussell Trust is nothing to do with it, and that they can't reject the donations because they would be in breach of Charity Commission guidelines. But it all goes over the head of the stupid Sugars who think that it's appropriate to bully a charity in the manner by which they are doing. Their bullying and their idiocy continues. HRH King Harry writes, so are you going to keep the money, or are you going to return it to the donors that were somehow misled into thinking they were working with the People's Duchess, bless her beautiful heart, to help your good organisation? How are going to solve this one? Once again, poor English, ridiculousness of calling her the People's Duchess, she isn't, and of course completely misunderstanding the situation. Saz replies, no one was misled. Imagine harassing a charity. Somebody else points out, there's nothing to solve. Leslie adds, no one was misled. Did any of you sewer rats donate? I doubt it unless you can't read. Fancy hitting on a charity that helps real people. You're disgusting. Just Me adds, so will the people who donated thinking it was for a charity associated with Princess Catherine be refunded their money? Nobody thought that, apart from the dim-witted sugars. Elizabeth Roberts adds, you're receiving money through a site which mentions this one's wife, the Duchess of Sussex. Investigation needed by the trust. There's nothing to investigate. Flilgary writes, a vitriolic hashtag this one's wife troll has hijacked the hashtag Duchess this one's wife's American Riviera Orchard brand domain in the UK to fraudulently solicit donations via @GoDaddy to @Trussell Trust. Apparently their patron, hashtag Kate Middleton, doesn't inspire much interest as this one's wife. Somebody then points out, how is it fraudulent if they legally bought a domain name and aren't hiding the fact the money is going to a charity? Somebody else adds, take no notice at Trussell Trust. This is a Sussex sewer squad, doing themselves, nor this one's wife, any favours, picking on a valuable, well-liked and trusted charity. Most are bots that have few followers. Mr. Super Williams adds, you donated to charity out of spite to this one's wife, not because you care about ending food poverty. What a sad life you lead. This trust benefited from this one's wife's influence over you, so you're boosting her philanthropic profile at the end of the day. Tricky combo. Wait, you're grateful to get scam donations? What? Have some honour and return the money. Prove you are not a scammer. This is outrageous. Again, demonstrating they just do not understand that even when the evidence is before their eyes, they just can't comprehend it because they're stupid and they have this slavish devotion to this one's wife, who, of course, remains entirely silent in relation to all of this. Ms. Flagpin returns. What do you have to say about your fraudulent fundraising practices? I guess it's all fun and games. Return the money. This is sick and your organisation can't be trusted. The Trussell Trust deigns to at least reply, which is more than, say, for instance, this one's wife would ever do. Hi there. We are not associated with this website domain. We weren't aware of the website prior to it going live and have not had any direct contact with the person who set it up. Ms. Flagpin points out, that was your response a couple of days ago when the amount donated through the fraudulent site was approximately $600. Now it's approximately $6,000. You're still accepting donations with the full knowledge that the website violates copyright laws. No, it doesn't. Return the money. Somebody replies, an American trolling a UK food bank. Mind your own. Ms. Flagpin responds, copyright infringement is breaking the law. Accepting illegal donations casts a shadow on the org's reputation, and we're exposing fraud. The reply to that is, this one's wife did not do her due diligence and pay for the UK domain for her jam and whatnot. The person who purchased it did so legally. The fact they are not profiting from the site but supporting a charity is admirable. This one's wife messed up. There you have it in a nutshell. What's actually gone on? But the thicko sugars can't accept this. Miffed replies, but you're okay to accept funds in the name of Kate, even though she's not your patron. Too lazy, using someone else's brand name, who she is known to hate and was exposed as one of the royal racists by someone who set up the domain in bad faith against this one's wife. I don't think the person who set up the domain exposed her as the royal racist. It was this one's wife who did so as part of her smearing. Maud Patnett, showing some delicious irony, you are a grifter. Your charity is very sketchy. Just Carolina writes, use your representative to go to the UK media and condemn this trolling and abuse. This little note here is not the way to silence trolls and abusers. Jean replies, I think this is awesome for this charity. Anyway, to help it along and feed more people, you would think everyone would want this. Accept all donations. Somebody else adds, I'm definitely donating now. This charity shouldn't have to suffer because some idiot hijacked the site and now squaddies are trying to blame a charity for intentionally doing this. There follows more and more exchanges between people pointing out the actual evidence, namely the domain name was free and was purchased, and that person has done it to support a legitimate cause. That many thousands of pounds have been raised for the Trussell Trust, which is a food bank in the United Kingdom. That the Trussell Trust has nothing to do with the person that set up the domain, that they are not affiliated with that person in any way, and that they are bound to accept the donations because the circumstances of rejection are not met as per Charity Commission guidelines. But it also demonstrates, of course, that a logical, coherent argument based upon the evidence is completely lost on the dim-witted shuggers as they continue to bleat and complain. All it does is provide people with an opportunity to showcase how stupid they are. You'll see from the various screenshots that there's even one saying that they were going to call Santa Barbara police. They really are thick. And this is the type of person that this one's wife attracts. Not coherent, articulate, intelligent individuals, but gutter snipes that engage in behaviour of bullying a charity. It would seem that the follower apples don't fall too far from the idolised tree that is this one's wife. She was accused of bullying staff. They bully a charity. And you can see from the evidence of the words that they write how they simply don't understand, how they continue to follow her, exhibiting a numbskull slavish devotion. And notwithstanding how many times it's pointed out to them, both the Trussell Trust social media account and other people, they continue to engage in their harassing and bullying behaviour. Tells you everything you need to know about the type of people that this one's wife attracts. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.